All right, if you're not doing over $100,000 per month with your agency, it's probably because you're not using the simplest, quickest, and easiest way to get there, which is to run paid ads. Now, because I do research into you guys, I know that statistically, you're most likely right now between 5 and 25K per month. You're struggling with client acquisition because some guru told you to do cold outbound, and or you just decided to do it and set it up yourself, but now you're not getting those client results. Now, you've thought about paid ads, but you don't want to do them because you think they're expensive and risky. You don't know how to run profitable paid ads. Maybe you tried them before and it didn't work. You're afraid of scaling too fast, or you think your current methods are working well enough. Or maybe you are running ads right now, but it's just not working. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make them not expensive or risky, how to run them profitably on your first try, even if you failed before, and how to scale smartly. And lastly, if you think your current methods are working well enough, well, clearly they're not, or you wouldn't be watching this video, you donkey. So first, I'm going to show you proof of what it's done for us, what it's done for others, and what it does on a daily basis. So first of all, this is what it did for us in just the second half of last year. This is what it has done for some of our clients, and this is what it does on a daily basis. If you go through my Instagram every single day, I'm uploading wins of what these paid ad systems are doing for our clients. So what we're going to cover in this video: first, why outreach is more expensive than paid ads. I'm going to show you guys how it is actually to make them like really cost effectively and actually really inexpensive and risky. Now, the next thing, we're going to talk about how to create your offer specifically for cold traffic. Like, how to attract cold traffic, people that don't know, like, and trust you, how to get them to want to work with you. Then we're going to go through the entire process of how to create ads from scratch. I'm going to show you guys step by step how I would create an ad from scratch, so you guys can just watch this and then implement it into your own business. Then we'll talk about exactly what to say and how to create a video sales letter that will take cold traffic and warm them up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week before they speak with either you or your sales team, so they're much easier to close. Then we'll talk about the follow-up systems that we want to install for people that don't close or opt in, don't book a call, whatever that case may be. And then lastly, we'll talk about how to manage ads, how to set up the funnel and scaling and all that good stuff. Okay, so first of all, why Facebook ads are cheap? Well, every single month that you don't make $100,000 a month, it costs you $100,000 minus whatever you made that month, right? And if we look at how long it would take, if you really pushed, how long it would take to hit $100,000 a month with ads, you can, relatively do it. I see it happen all the time in 3 to 4 months. But with cold outbound, not only do I rarely ever actually see it happen, if I do, it's like a 12 to 24, 2-3 year process in order to make it work. And it's usually not just the outbound. There's, referrals and upsells and like a whole very complicated process. So here's just a couple of simple ways of looking at this. If it takes you 12 months with outbound versus 4 months with ads, it'll cost you roughly $400,000. Explain logically, right? Like, it's $400,000 in unearned income, right? And I'm only averaging that out as $50,000, right? If it's less than that, then it's going to be even more than that. If it was $100,000, it'd be $800,000, right? If it takes you 4 months to get to 100K a month with ads, the other way to look at it is that if it only takes you 4 months to get 100K a month with ads, you could be easily over $200,000 a month by month 12, which would further drive up the cost of outbound marketing, right? When you're looking at like the people that are say ads are expensive, whatever the case may be, it's like you're looking at this from the wrong perspective. It's like a very short-term thinking, right? A very poor way to think about this. Where if you look at this over 12, a 12-month time horizon, you could be losing out on hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars by waiting until cold outbound gets you to $100,000 a month before doing ads or anything like that. Now, the other thing is that you don't have to gamble tens of thousands of dollars up front. These are a whole bunch of our clients that you can see right here that are literally only spending like $30, $40 a day, not even. But because we built them an offer that was followed using the process that I'm going to share with you, because we set up the ad creative, because we did the video sales letter, because we did all of this, despite only spending $30, $40 a day, you can see Evan was able to close 3 deals in a single week. Care Genius is the name of their company. They did over $10,000 in a week with a $7,500 PIF. This person here spent $130, closed a 7K deal, UK, which is about like 9K Canadian, 9K US. Audie right here, he was able to actually scale to $20,000 per month, starting from basically scratch. He actually did $15,000 in a week as soon as this was launched. And this was only like very, very recent, right? So you don't have to spend a lot of money when you follow everything that I'm going to share with you guys in this video. So first of all is how to create a Facebook ads offer. So the first thing that we must understand is that cold traffic offers are not the same as warm traffic offers. However, Cold traffic offers will work for warm traffic, but warm traffic offers do not work for cold traffic. Now, what does this mean? What do I mean by this? Well, a warm traffic, like, let's say, if you've been watching my YouTube video, right? You've been watching my YouTube, right? You've been watching me for 2 years, whatever the case. Maybe you've seen the video of me running a 100-kilometer ultra marathon, whatever the case may be. If I came to you and I said, hey, I'll work with you one-on-one, right? Like me personally, I'll work with you one-on-one. Like, oh, sick, that'd be awesome, right? Like I get to work with Dylan, that'd be sick, right? Some of you guys, you might not be knowing this, right? Or maybe this is the first YouTube video you watch and you have like no interest in working with me one-on-one, right? That's the difference between a cold traffic. That's the difference between a cold traffic and a warm traffic offer, right? Like the people that have been watching me for 2-3 years, if I went to them and say, hey, want to work with me one-on-one, they'd be like, yes, right? But if this is your first video of me, you're going to be like, no. And the only reason I can get you to work with me if this is your first time watching me is if I made a cold traffic offer. Right now, the thing is, though, is if I went to somebody with an offer like we have here at Catalyst, which is that we guarantee $100,000 in new clients, or we'll refund you and pay for your marketing, right? That works for cold traffic, we know, right? But then it also works for somebody who's been watching me for 2 or 3 years, right? So really, when it comes to the Facebook ads offer, we're talking about how to make these cold traffic offers, because some of us, we think about these warm traffic offers, which, people are only going to want to work with you if they already know, like, and trust you, or they already have a lot of experience, and then sales pressure's down and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So how do we create these cold traffic offers? Well, step one is to identify your market crack. And this is like the question that I'll always ask my clients when I'm building their offers for them, right? What is the one thing that if I said on a sales call, people would close every single time? Now, for now, like, forget about how/if you can deliver for now, but like, just think, right? Like, just spend an hour, spend 2 hours, spend a day, spend a week thinking that, like, what is the one thing that I could say on a sales call and like they would close every single time, right? Just let your imagination run wild. Talk to people, right? Talk to past clients, talk to customers, talk to past prospects, other people that you know in the industry. Get the answer to that question. Now, once you have that, right, you want to reverse engineer the delivery of your market crack, right? I call it the market crack. It's just like the one thing that people will say yes to every time. Now, a lot of the time when people come work with us, we already know what this is for specific industries, so we can just deploy that and build offers around it. But if you're not, like, if that's not you or whatever, then you just have to go do your research, all that kind of stuff to figure out, like, what is the one thing that if I said in a sales call, people close every time, right? Because you can just offer them that like you're going to win, right? Then step two is to reverse engineer it, right? So let's say your market dreams of 10 new listings a month, right? And bringing on 2 to 3 agents under them to sell, right? Which is something like crazy. Like, a lot of real estate offers would be like 1 new listing a month, 3 new listings a month. Like, that's, usually the higher end of like dream outcome, right? But you have to understand that 10 new listings a month and then also bringing on 2 to 3 agents under them per month to sell for them on a monthly basis is 100% possible. Like, there is people out there in the world that are achieving these results, right? So you just have to break that limiting belief about what is possible, what is not possible. And then it's just like, okay, if I was to get 10 new listings per month and then also bring on 2 to 3 agents, right, under my client, what would I have to do? Like, what systems would they need? How much ad spend would be required? What KPIs would I need to hit? What KPIs would they need to hit? And what would make them qualify to even be ready for this, and et cetera, right? And then once you answer those questions, you've just figured out how to deliver the market crack, how to deliver the one thing that your market like really, really, really wants, right? And then step number 3 is to guarantee it, right? Guarantee these results and offer to do something of value if they don't hit it and it was your fault, right? Like, obviously, if they don't hit it, but they didn't call the leads, they didn't close anybody, then you don't need to worry about it, right? You only need to offer the guarantee if it was your fault, right? Now, step number 4 is a question to ask yourself. Would you buy this? Right? And if the answer is no, because it's too risky, right, then you just need to strengthen your guarantee. If the answer is not enough social proof, right, then work for free to get some, right? Like, one of the things that I'll talk to people all the time and they're like, I don't want to offer a crazy guarantee, whatever the case may be, right? And sometimes it's even like clients that we bring on, right? And I'm like, okay, like, we made a really good offer. We offered to get you $100,000 in new clients, and if we don't, we'll refund you, and then we'll even pay for the expenses of your agency. And that's why you decided to work with us, right? Because we're confident in what we do. We know we can deliver, and that's why we made that offer, right? And then you would also minimize a lot of risk. That's why you wanted to work with us. So now you're sitting here telling me that, oh, I don't want to offer that in case I have to refund somebody. Like, no wonder people aren't working with you, right? And so you have to understand that, like, you're probably not watching this video if you're the biggest player in the space, right? If you're 10 times bigger than me, if you're, the Goliath of your space, if you've dominated your industry, you're probably not watching this video. So you have to give the real estate agents, the home improvement guys, whatever the case may be, a reason to choose you over the biggest person in the space with 10 times the amount of social proof, with 10 times the amount of credibility and authority and results and all that kind of stuff. And it's not going to be by offering to, work for free if it doesn't work out, like the 1,000 other agencies doing the exact same thing. Okay. So that is creating your offer. Now let's get into the ad creatives. When it comes to ad creatives, I just take data from people that we've either closed or really qualified prospects that we spoke to, and then use that to write the copy, right? It's less about like this magical whirlwind of Dan Kennedy, Alex Hormozy, perfectly spinning up copy that like makes people emote. Like, forget all that. It's just like, okay, why do people work with you? What do they want? We can tell. What are they afraid of? Let's tell them that we can give them what they want without what they're afraid of. That's like it. Okay. So what I'll do is we actually record all of our closing calls in Fathom, which is like an AI transcriptor. Right now, what I will do is Fathom has this feature where you can basically just ask Fathom the following questions, right? So when we have people that close, I'll just ask them, what type of business does the attendee run and what were the metrics of their company? What caused the attendee to want to schedule a call? What is the attendee currently doing to grow their business? What is and what is not working for the attendee's business? Has the attendee worked with other companies like ours in the past? What did the other company do and did it work? Okay, now let me show you an example of this, right? This is a document that I actually did, right? So what type of business do they run? Most were between 5 and 15, 20K per month. Why do they want to schedule a call? Most of them needed help with client acquisition. What are they currently doing to grow their business? Most people were doing cold outbound, right? What is and what isn't working? A lot of people had good fulfillment, bad acquisition. Everybody else was either like, they were just like, nothing's working and I have no idea what to do, or nothing's working, but I need help with acquisition, just even start, right? And how they work with other companies like ours in the past, what did the other company do, etc. Right? Most talked to but didn't move forward. Okay. Now, when it comes to the ad copy structure, hook, offer, value props, objection, overcomes, and then there's call to action. So the hook, I just say like, hey, are you then like what they are statistically most likely to be, right? Here's the example that I have here. Are you an agency owner struggling with client acquisition? Are you an agency owner doing cold outreach and struggling with client acquisition? Are you an agency owner doing 5 to 25K per month, struggling with client acquisition because your cold outbound isn't doing as well as you'd like? Are you an agency owner doing 5 to 25K per month with good fulfillment, but struggling with client acquisition because your cold outbound isn't doing as well as you'd like? Where do you think I got this data from? Like, I just got this data from what I know that people are working. Like, I know the reason that people are working with us because I did the research to figure out exactly why they're working with us. And then I'm just like, hey, I'm just calling them out. Like, just really simple, right? Then once you've gone through the hook, right, you just offer. I will what they statistically are most likely to want, right? Like, that's the other way to, into the offer. It's like you've dedicated your market crack. Okay. Once you've called them out specifically who they are and you know what they want, you just like say, hi, I will get you this. And then you just state your offer. Pretty simple ad foundation, right? And then the next thing here, going into the value props, here's why you like it, overcome objections, here's why you don't need to worry, and CTA, schedule a call. So let me break down some copy that I've just recently put out and I just recently script, right? So I have all these hooks that we put in here, right? By just following statistically what I know they're most likely to be, right? The value props that I have is I have tons and tons and tons and tons of proven results and testimonials. What we do is done for you. It's not a coaching program or anything like that. And we guarantee our shit or you don't pay. Right? These are the objections that we most commonly get. Do you have proven results? What do you actually do? How do I know you're not a scam? What is the ROI? Is it worth it? Will this work for my niche? Guarantee and refund policy. Okay. So then I just say ad copy number 1. I put in a hook, my offer. You don't pay me while I pay for the expenses of your agency if I don't add a minimum of 100K new clients using the automated end-to-end client acquisition system that my team installs for you on a complete done-for-you basis. Right? After working with and scaling over 1,000 B2B agencies to 6 and 7 figures, right? Showing proof of that too. I know right now you're stuck between 5 and 25K per month, and like I know who you are, right? Then I have 3 different main value props that I'm going to be testing in this ad, for example, right? This one talks about how we can get appointments for as little as $20 and you can sign 6-figure clients for as little as $400. This one talks about how quickly we can get you clients, and this one talks about how many clients we can possibly get you, right? Then I'll done for you both this client getting machine and guarantee you $100,000 in new clients. Again, Now, getting into the objection handling. This is only for agency owners, but we have proven results in every niche with every offer. This is how long it takes. This is what you have to do. This is the expected ROAS or ROI, if you want to call it. This is what happens if we don't get you that. And then, hey, like if you don't think I'm a credibility, you don't think I'm a scam, like just do your due diligence and Google me, right? Then, so if you want to see case studies, how it works, what's required on your end, 30 other frequently asked questions, then I direct them to the video sales letter. Okay. We'll get into the video sales letter now. Okay, so getting into the video sales letter, here is how I also use a lot of the same data that I have here from the ad in this document and answering these questions, right? So we'll get into the video sales letter structure that I'll use. First one is like pattern interrupt, right? So I'll actually show you the example of my new video sales letter that I'm putting out. See this? That money is fake. And see these cars? Those cars aren't mine. They're actually partners here at Catalyst. Now, you may or may not have known that, and because it's hard to tell what's real and what's fake nowadays, that's why in this simple explainer video, I'm just going to brutally, honestly, transparently show you exactly what we do here at Catalyst Holdings. Okay, so now you can see like that was a pretty pattern interrupt, me burning cash. This is, this money isn't mine and these cars aren't mine either, which is hard to tell what's real and what's fake nowadays. So I'm just gonna show you, proof of what it is that we actually do, right? That's something that's different, people haven't seen before, and it's like, oh, I'm actually kind of interested because I've never actually seen that before. This is different than everybody else, right? Fundamentally, the pattern interrupt, like the number one thing that you can do is just be different. If everybody in your niche is making Loom videos, do not make a Loom video, right? Like do something different. Or you can make a Loom video, but don't start it with a Loom video, right? Like have a pattern interrupt to hook people in. Call out the ICP, in our case, the 5 to 25K per month, et cetera, and then also make your offer right near there at the beginning, right? The other way to do that is just have the pattern interrupt and do this with the headline above the VSL. That's another way of doing the same thing. Then I get into the authority. Who are you? Why should I trust you? And what makes you qualified, right? We're just answering these questions here. Then I'll go into some social proof, case studies. Now, I won't just I'll show the case studies, right? And I'll show the undeniable proof. But in addition to that, I'll tell the story behind the case study, specifically the emotional side of things too. What was the internal reason that they wanted to, scale their agency? How was that internal reason fulfilled? That can actually be a lot more powerful, right? Because a lot of the time, the reason that we want to make our, that we want to scale our business or whatever the case may be is due to some emotional desire. So I'll talk about the emotional desires that my clients were able to achieve through the case studies instead of just the numbers as well, because that can be a lot more powerful and hit closer to home with the people that are watching the video, right? Then we get into current method and painful problems. Like I know that you are statistically what they're most likely doing, right? So in our case, I know that you're currently running cold outbound techniques and you're struggling with client acquisition because it's not working as well as you want. And as a result, you're spending all this money, you're only getting qualified leads or unqualified leads, people don't want to work with you, whatever the common problems are as a result of statistically what they're most likely doing right now, right? This is very simple. You just figure out what they're most likely doing, and then like, what are the most common problems with the methods that they're most commonly trying? And it's like, I know you're doing this because you guys have already told me that. And I also know that you're struggling with this, right? Because I know that if you do this, these are the problems that you run into, right? But you really want the statistically desired outcome. So when people are on a sales call with you, like, what do they want? Right? Well, they want XYZ. They want XYZ. And then you just say, but you do, despite all these problems, this is why you're actually trying, because you want this result, right? Then you get into the new opportunity, right? Selling a new opportunity is always going to perform better than selling an improvement offer, right? That's a fundamental thing, right? If you can show people a new opportunity, and that's how we're really dressing this up, right? We're really, warming this up to do a new opportunity. I know you're struggling with cold email, and as a result, these are the problems that you're struggling with, but you really want this, right? That's why I have a new way to get what you want without all the problems with cold email. That is fundamentally how we want to be structuring our VSLs. That was just an example I made up off the top of my head, but you can do this for any niche, with any offer, with any service delivery, with any system across the board. You can even do this with like any type of business, to be honest, right? So when we get into the new opportunity, why does my current method not work, right? You have to explain to them why they are failing in the past. Like, what is the problem with what they're currently doing? What do you get me? Like, what dream outcome do you get me? What do you help me avoid? How do you do it? How is this different from my current method? And then again, who has this worked for in the past? And I'll share more social proof, right? Then I'll go into a value stack, which is what is everything that you do and how much time / money would it cost to do on their own. Then last there, it's call to action, book a call. Now, getting into the follow-ups. You've probably heard this before. The money is made in the follow-ups. And most of you guys, if you guys are running ads or any kind of thing, you'll send 1-2 follow-ups and then forget it. Well, on average, it takes 24 days to convert somebody from an opt-in to a paying client. right? So if they opted in on day one and then we contacted them and they didn't respond and then we didn't ever contact them again, most of our clients today would have never closed because it takes them on average 24 days. Right. So that's why it's very important to have a proper follow-up system. And regularly that we see in our attribution that we're able to track through Hyros that people will opt in and it's like email 7 that they get, which is when they decide to book a call and then close. Okay, that's why it is so important. You're easily leaving out double the amount of money on the table by not doing this, right? But here's a simple structure, right? Day 1 to 3, after they opt in, send a case study of somebody who didn't believe your vehicle could get them results and then they did, right? Let's say, for example, you're currently doing cold email and you don't believe paid ads work for maybe it's the reasons that I shared with you before, right? So day 1, I will send you an email about, this person did cold email. They didn't believe that paid ads work. Then they tried it. They realized this epiphany. Then they ended up trying paid ads. Now they're at 50K a month, right? 100K a month, whatever the number is, right? Then day number 2, send a case study if somebody had internal false beliefs. I'm not good enough, and then they got results. Maybe this is somebody who tried before and failed, right? They believe, I'm not good enough to run paid ads. I'm not good enough on camera. I'm not whatever internal false belief that they had. Then they got results. Day number 3, send a case study of someone who had external false beliefs. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money, whatever the case may be. And then they got results, right? So in that case, I could talk to you about, for example, one of our clients, Mashari, who, when he started with us, he had almost very, very little money, right? He wasn't in a very good financial position. Now he's pushing 30, 40K per month, right? And I would talk about that story as I don't have enough money. I don't have enough, he was also a student. He was also actually a university student as well. So I can kind of tie that both into one, right? Then if they haven't booked call, if they haven't closed, day 3 to 10, sending them value and objection overcome, right? So send daily emails providing values while overcoming the 7 most common objections that you get on sales calls, right? So using that data, it's what are the most common objections that you get, right, on the sales call as to why somebody will not work with you. Then you just overcome each one of them on an email. One of them will hit close to home. Chances are, of the 7 emails, the reason why that person didn't book a call with you, one out of the 7 is really going to strike a chord with them, and they're going to likely book a call, right? If they still don't book a call, day 10 to 40, you can send 2 times weekly emails, alternating between value and case study, right? So one could be value, right? Hey, here's just something I've learned today. Here's something that we implemented with the client. Here's a new strategy. Content like I'm making right now. And another one could be case studies or wins, right? Hey, our client just hit this, or hey, here's all the wins that we've had of the week. Okay. So getting into managing ads, the funnel, and scaling. So I'm going to walk you through how to set everything up right now. So here's how we like to set everything up. So first of all, we're starting at the campaign level. The campaign objective that we put will always be sales, especially if it's a book a call campaign, optimized for the specific book a call. Advantage campaign budget off to begin with, A/B test off, and everything else stays for same. Then we get into the ad set level. Right. So what I will do for the naming convention is if it's a ad that I'm still testing, right, I haven't proven it to be a winner yet, I'll put this little icon there. If it's a winning ad, I'll have the trophy icon. And then if it's an ad that didn't end up working, I'll have the X icon. Then I put the name of the creative or the creative style, right? Advantage plus this is basically the location, this is basically the audience, this is the location, and then this is the objective, conversion location, website, optimized it for calls. Coming into daily budget, obviously you set that to whatever makes sense for your scenario. Then I do Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, United States, the big 4. And then now in regards to audience, right? I just turn on Advantage audience. I don't do any interest tags. I don't do anything like that. Facebook has AI. AI will read what's in your video, read what's in your copy, and then Facebook will just show you, show people who have who are interested in what you have to say in the ad, right? So if I say, hey, are you an agency owner? Facebook is going to know what I'm saying in the ad, right? And then it's just going to show it to agency owners, right? So you don't need to overcome this. I just literally do Advantage plus audience on all of my campaigns. Placements, I'll do manual placements. Then I'll do Facebook, Facebook and Instagram. I just do feeds and stories. I get rid of all of this stuff, right? Then lastly here, going into the actual copy here. So as you can see here, this angle is the get rich fast over get rich for sure. And then what I've done here is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different variations. And what they are is all these 7 different hooks, right? So I have the same value copy, and then I just put hook 1, hook 2, hook 3, hook 4, hook 5, hook 6, hook 7, and each one's into its own ad set here. Coming down into here, I just do single image or video, ad setup. Obviously I put my primary text in there, and then I come down here, I put my headline in here, and then from there, I'll put a description in there, and then I'll put the website, the landing page, a display link, and everything else pretty straightforward. Use a website and then set up a URL parameter as well. All right, so that's how you set up your ad account. Now I'm going to talk about how do we test, or at least my mindset behind testing and scaling. Okay. So first of all, the testing rule is test everything and test a lot. Test new creatives, test new headlines, test new copy, test new landing pages, split test everything that you can. Right? That's just what I'm constantly doing. One variable at a time, split testing everything that I can. Now, in regards to how to scale, when to scale, all that kind of stuff, I have a super simple metric that no media buyer ever tells you, especially with how advanced Facebook's AI targeting media buying is nowadays. I don't do retargeting. I don't do anything like that. I don't do lookalike audiences. I don't do anything like that. I do one simple thing. If it works, I'm spending more money on it. And if it's not working, I'm cutting it off. So if I launch a new creative or a new hook or a new headline, or whatever the case may be, and I spend a couple $100 on it, and we got a good amount of leads, we got another book calls, sales team saying, hey, calls are qualified coming from this ad. Well, guess what? I spend more money on it. Now, alternatively, if I launch a new creative and I spend a couple $100 on it, we don't get many leads, we don't get many calls, the calls are unqualified, then I just turn it off. And that's literally all you have to do, right? You don't have to have some crazy magic formula, simple scales, fancy fails, and especially in the media buying world in today's day and age. Alrighty, guys, so that is it. That is a complete masterclass on how to scale using paid ads. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'll personally jump in there and answer them. I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.